There we go. Alright guys, welcome back. Some sounds going as well for game number 2. Still a little bit ad hoc, I do apologize, but I don't know how it is with Perfect World servers, not letting me see the lobby for some reason, then them starting without me again, and then just being the last minute caster anyway. But hey, CDC versus EHOME.Keen once again through Dota TV. Just like our last game. But CDC they did end up winning. With EHOME.Keen, they kind of had a weird lineup to go against what CDC had. They were doing quite well in the mid game, but they never really were able to press the advantage and find the kills and find the pickoffs that they needed to really lead into anything more on the back of the Slaughter and the Earthspur. And CDC, well, even though I was a little bit worried about the Phantom Lancer that EHOME.Keen had, they were able to play around him. Does not really care about his damage because a lot of that was coming from the mana burn, which was negated by the PqMz that everyone had. And then CDC just had a ridiculous amount of right-click damage to work with on their mid DK, the Drow, and of course also the offlane Nature's Prophet. This time around though, bit of a different draft already. The Kunkka and the Lifestealer for EHOME.Keen. It's kind of a nasty combo as well. Kunkka just keep people in place and throw around control like there's no tomorrow, and the Lifestealer for the single target munchability, I call it that. Shadow Demon Juggernaut and the Timbersaw now for CDC, so fairly durable. Again, defensive support and the Shadow Demon can disrupt the target the Lifestealer is going on. I think you can still play around the axe a little bit more, but then again, Kunkka can also counterplay that, but just using the disruption as a setup that's for the Tauren if that's used defensively. So gotta have to be a bit more careful about that in this game. But outside of that, Timbersaw does okay against Lifestealer, I suppose. So as soon as Lifestealer has his kind of core items, so his kind of Desolator, Armlet, Face Boots, then it'd still be able to manage through Timbersaw quite nicely. Question is whether they'll be able to finish him off or can just Timber Chain away, but now with the Silencer, really good pickup here up against this. That should all but ensure Timbersaw kills whenever they actually go on him, just with the last word. Arcane Curse kind of wrecks him as well. Global Silence, of course, also great against the Juggernaut, against anything really that's CDC will even want to pick up. So it's just something that you have to play around, that you have to kind of try and bait out, fake it out, and then just retreat, go back in after Global Silence is finished. Until you get your items to really dispel a Juggernaut with a Manta Style, Timbersaw can get a Lotus Orb. And Dragonites, well, I guess he can get a Manta Style himself, or just a BKB more than likely. So that he can still fight after the Global Silence gets popped. So EHOME.Keen is gonna have a timing for these defensive items come out, where they have to make something happen with that. Get some more tools to do that, Batrider, so a clear strategy for them. Batrider out of the offlane more than likely. Just jumping in, catching somebody, and then on the back of the Global Silence, maybe having the Lifesteal infested into them for some easy damage, easy kills.
5 seconds remaining.
Just checking some things on the side again.
Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
Blaze is going to bed. Even earlier for him than it is for me. Holy hell. What time is it in? Yes, right now, like 6 AM or something? But yeah. Okay. The bans. Nagasara taken out, thank you CDC. Would not be been looking forward to another long game. At least not until I get myself a co-caster, but hey. No Naga Siren to reset the fight. Be home after the fact. I don't know if that would have been the choice though. This kind of already have the one position core on Lifestealer. Outside of that though, the lanes are fairly flexible. Okay, can be support, can be kind of off lane, Silencer can go mid, Batrider can also be very
Dire
versatile, but
team
looks
pick.
like Bedrotter offline, Silencer and Kunkka support, and a Storm Spirit for the middle lane. So that's a lifestealer vessel if I've ever seen one. Kind of the classic gang train coming through. And that's some
10
really good follow-up,
seconds remaining.
right? If they get off to a good start, then they're going to hit a really
5
nasty
seconds
timing where they
remaining.
can get huge team fights whenever the global silence is off cooldown, whenever the CDC
Reserve
show
time.
themselves in front lines. Which is also why they're probably picking up some more tanky heroes now between the Timbersaw and the Dragonite. Timbersaw can, depending on how many stacks he already has, he might be able to sustain himself, but with all the magic damage, it's also questionable. Dragonite should also be able to withstand some of that. Nixus, oh god, what does that even mean? Next Assassin last pick though, this might be a linchpin that keeps CDC going. Because that's a great hero up against the Storm Spirit, just a mana burn him out. Client Delta ticks out of order. There we go, I'm back. It's all good, folks, it's all good. But yeah, great against the Storm Spirit, great against the Bat Rider. Just with this Spike Carapace, stunning him whenever you really want to on that Firefly. And also the Silencer really, because Silencer and Storm Spirit, for the same reason, both
Prepare for battle.
intelligence heroes that will build huge mana pools and huge intelligence pools, which will make sure that this mana burn is gonna hit like a truck. Then you can just imagine Nyx perhaps getting an Aghanim Scepter at some point, which would make that all the more hilarious. Early smoke here from CDC to plop down some wards. Same for EHOME though. They will find each other. Doesn't look like we're gonna see too much action early, so let's take a quick look at a complete lineup, starting with CDC. We've got November on the Juggernaut, October on that Shadow Demon, June playing the Timbersaw, the lane's gonna be Feb again on the Dragonite, in September on that Nyx Assassin. Gonna
30
be the
seconds
offlaner,
to
I
battle.
suppose. Normal offlaner. Timbersaw with the Iron Talon, now he's making his way over there now, that makes a lot more sense. You know, soaking as much as he can and just farming the offlane camp, freeing up Nyx Assassins to roam around, trying to make something happen out of the support position. Or 4 position, I should say. Makes a lot more sense.
The battle begins.
Again, Nyx offlane was a thing for a while, wasn't it?
I'll take that.
Since he got the buff to his base region, up to like 3.1 or something. People considered that for a bit, but yeah. Anyway, for the side of EHOME.Keen, got the Bat Rider, we've got XI. He's trying to do the same thing that he did as Slaughter last time around. Just drag the creeps across. Last time it didn't work out too well for him, and this time, well, Shadow Demon still throwing out the Shadow Poison. Has been nerfed here in the initial damage department quite a bit. So XI, not all that worried about it. The mid lane's gonna be this guy with the Chinese characters. This on the Storm Spirit, JDH playing the Kunkka. The other guy with Chinese characters on the Silencer. And then a 1 position QD on the lifesteal end. Yeah, it's actually going to be Nyx Assassin trying to soak something here, but he's being zoned heavily by the supports. That's not going to happen. June? Well, straight up jungling Timbersaw. Can't say I see that all the time. And okay, are they gonna get him now? We just trying to TBR, that's going to work barely. It looks it. Do have some lag issues, as you might be able to tell. I'm just gonna try and reconnect. Let's see if that fixes things. But yeah, I don't actually see the Nyx Assassin getting too much. It's kind of a hero that needs a couple of levels before it can be effective doing anything. Not gonna get levels at this point, this being a trial lane down here. So it looks like we're still having issues, so I'm just gonna leave it at that and hope that it fixes itself at some point. Not much else I can really do there. But yeah, Storm Spirit up against DK mid. Fairly favored for a Storm, as you might imagine. Both He's fairly low range, but then again, it's also Dragon Knight. They both have to go close. But the Stormspeeder can harass quite effectively here with the Static Remnant and the Overload, despite the brief fire, just kind of taking away some of his last hit damage. Right on top, Disruption here. They do have this level 2 spin available. That's quite a bit of damage here, especially without the Firefly available. XI might actually be dead here with the first blood. A couple of right clicks here with the Shadow Poison. Gonna be Arced, taking that first blood in favor of CDEC again in this offlaner.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Just trying to bite off a little bit more than you can chew here. You cannot underestimate the damage output of a Juggernaut just with a level 2 Blade Fury. As September, he's still level 1. Guess it's a flip side, right? He's playing much more aggressively, but he's level 4. And so he's getting what he needs out of this offlane despite giving up a kill. June, well, he's struggling a bit. Mr. Jungle takes forever. Sure, you don't die, but even with the Iron Talons, painfully slow until you get your couple of extra spells up. Oh, spin. No, November, he's actually dead. Stick charges available here, might have to pop them now with an extra right click who's out in defensive. Disruption, aggressive one on the Bad Rider. Should be enough to keep him safe. Only just though, only just. Just his base move speed and plus the boots helping out. Bottom lane, okay, bit of slow next assassin. With kind of hard to call there, but with that spike carapace, looked like QD didn't get bothered by that at all. But it's going to happen. Lifesteal a very strong lane, especially against any sort of melee ones. So might not be able to zone out next assassin out of its XP range completely, but it's a trade-off that they're happily going to make by continuing the pressure, by in return continuing the pressure up top here. JDH on the Conqueror. He's level 2, so he can decide on whether he wants to go for the kind of greedy 4 position build with going X at all, just going for the Tidebringer harass, or he can just go for the action whenever you need to just set up something. He's linking up with the Batter and actually going towards the middle lane. It's unoccupied by Storms, but right now it's only Feb here. Oh, storming his way in. TP as soon as you see him. It's gonna be arced with the disruption. It's gonna put a stop to all of this aggression. Right. Top lane, okay. He was TPing, he was not just AFK, okay. Perfect well, please. Timbersaw now finally claims his rightful place up against the lifesteal down bottom. That's a little bit more annoying to deal with for QD. Just because of the reactive armor. Stormspeeder killed by neutral creep. I cannot imagine that to be his plan. Time for neutral creep to now is release not 6 minutes in, so hey. Miscalculated I suppose. Top lane, QD actually make full rotation. He does not want to deal with the Timbers on the slightest. Send the Bat Rider there instead, and okay, he might find a kill. Disruption's available here, use it on Lifestealer. That'll be that most likely, yeah. More rotations come in though, if they can keep him close. Might be able to finish him off, the stun just short. Now the Omni Slash here, almost finishing him off here, a couple of extra right clicks in the end. We'll get that Lifestealer now with Web makes his way through. Ultimate into the range stun, easy secondary kill on the Silencer. Now with that, they have the healing ward, they can turn this into a tower push. Don't really see Dragon Knights rotate out of the lane often. I guess this is one of the games where you really want to do it. Because Storm's also generally rather passive here on mid. Wants to farm some amount of basic items here, at least a Soul Ring as well as Arcane Boots. Or Treads here, whatever he decides to go before he rotates around. So, good movement there from a Dragon Knight. Or from CDC in general, just recognizing, hey, we can punish QD making his way up top on a lifestealer. Take a tower off of it. That he's back. JD2 is soaking just a lot of experience. Thankful about that. And now the axe into Torrent here. Stormsword is there. That's a lot of magic damage. And coming through here. September just TPing in to beat a meat shield at this stage. And it looks like PqMz be available to join. So try and get him in. This is kind of the one good thing about great. Come on, PqMz. Alright, so that's one good thing about Dota TV. We can get him in right away. But now, looking at Lasso here onto June. In a lot of trouble, still gets Axe back. He should still end up dying. Oh, does he here? Feb makes his way in November as well. No dash, but he does have spin available to ADH. He's really committing for the skill. But June, well, it's just proving to be a nuisance on his Stimsol. It's 2 down, as Feb was able to finish off the Batrider. Stormsword not quite in shape to take a team fight despite the haste in here.
Top tower is under attack. Structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, let's gotta get him here. Just gotta jump on Discord channel real quick.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh yeah. You can hop in, and hopefully for the next best of 3, or the game number 3, we can head into the proper lobby. Yeah, once again, apologies. Just some issues with Perfect World, communication with Chinese people, and then last minute casting and all of that. Just gonna... Don't want to reconnect one more time. Looks like we might see something happening up top as June once again the target, but once again he's a Timbersaw. Last time didn't really work out for him. Just gonna leave it be. Just try and get some farm on his lifesteal. Okay, maybe not. Lasso onto him again. Okay, JDH. Come around. Looks like he might be able to finish it off here. Not too many stacks on top of him. On the reactive armor, but the help is there anyway. Dimension Simmer Chain out, September front lines here. Might be the trade instead. He dodges the torrent. So that is only creating space as the rest of them not able to really come in for any sort of counter kills. As Torrent Fab is actually being pressured by Silencer as well as the Stormsword. Gets a stun off here after the ultimate form, and now they really want to commit for this kill. Full 5 on rotation, making his way through below from the top. They do finish him off. That's what CDC. Oh, they do only get the Batrider now. It might have been a tower finishing him off, but now they look for more. They lust for blood. June with the long range Timber Chain. They do finish up the Gonka, and now the Silencer also a bit of a rough position. Another Timber Chain and a couple of right clicks plus the Chakram. That Chakram is the one finishing him off. Pretty sure about that. So they do get their counter kills after all. They're just diving even deeper than EHOME did.
Yo.
PqMz, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining on short notice like that.
What's happening?
I don't know, man. Blaze just said, hey, can you cast? I'm like, alright, I'm heading back home because it was that doctor's. I was casting these games through Dota TV because they don't let me in the lobby because of perfect rolls. Now I have lag. Please help me, dude. Please help me. Are you in the game?
Yeah, I'm in.
Alright. So CDC, they won game 1 on the back of Drow Strat, kind of went into the late game. EHOME had a Phantom Lancer that was stacked, but didn't actually end up doing too much. In this game, they're kind of falling behind as well. Stormsword now dying once again. Not exactly ideal.
First impressions just feel like CDEC have run of the game. All their cores are further ahead, and they're going to hit a timing where they want to fight a lot earlier than like Storm and Lifestealer can come online. That actually lets them fight into the cores.
I get the Dragon Knight here, Lasso after the boat combo. Full form and rotation, he's still alive. a little bit longer here. Fairly hard to get down a target like him, but thought they had
It's
one or
really
two
good they
less
get that
heroes here.
without
Yeah,
global.
Tower is under attack.
Because like if they can continue getting the pickoffs like that, it delays this timing where CDEC are just stronger on all their cores. So it looks like Jug's going Battle Fury, so he might not want to be fighting as much at this stage. Which I kind of
Dire's middle
disagree
tower
with
is under
from,
attack.
you know, just joining the game now. It looks like they're super strong at this time, so they should itemize for it.
there's another Axe. Global Silence comes out this time around June. Well, this time they will actually finish him off before any help can come his way, and the rest of CDC, they will trade for Lifestealer though. Juggernaut still does make rotation through, does have the Armor Slash available if they want to chase down more, and they will find it on the Bat Rider. Does get the Firefly across. 2 poison stacks on top of him, plus a Soul Catcher. He will still take out that alone. Shadow Demon on the killing spree. So, hey, with that, still momentum going in their favor. EHOME, they keep trying to go for these aggressive plays, but they never quite seem to be able to get out afterwards.
Yeah, that time just not favorable with the global usage. They pretty much used it to almost kill a Nyx. And now they get the tower with the DK as well, so that's kind of the way they want to be getting these fights. You know, take collateral after each one, use DK to push, not get caught out when they're retreating. It's very important. Looks like they'll be
Dodges the
fine.
torrent, still being slowed down. Nice little stun there from September. Not really taking care of the lifesteal, but for everyone else in the backlands, Fab taking so much of the damage. He is also Zips it again, trying to finish him off. But CDC still alive with E-Ward going throughout the entire time. The spin comes through, doing some extra damage here. September will finally fall together with Fab. They do trade for a Storm, but the fight's not quite over just yet. June looking for a target, but with the Sun's spell on top of him, having a hard time actually continuing with spell usage. So there'll be a 3-for-1 trade in favor of EHOME this time around, and they will also finish off the tower as a result.
I feel like the Timber wasn't there early enough, otherwise that fight could have gone a lot differently. But by the time he got there, Conker's so good at dealing with you in the early stages. Like Xing you to break the chain, and same with Torrent, makes it really hard for you to get your damage off.
Yep.
That's really good for them though. Even though they lost a tower, they get a few kills. I think they killed the tier 1 as well.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that was dead beforehand. And that might give them a bit of time to set up some ganks. Their global's off cooldown, they have lasso in 30. They can time it where the Bat Rider gets his blink, his lasso comes up, and they can do a Nake's bomb, make some space for the storm. You just try and stop CDEC from grouping up.
Now they're still looking to try and get some of the core items up and running by the looks of it. Dragon Knight up straight into that BKB. September though? Well,
Very
with level
desperate.
6.
If you go straight BKB, it speaks a lot to what timing you want to hit. I'm not sure it's the greatest item this game either. Just because the majority of the damage is going to come from Nakes, I feel like. And probably Firefly as well, but still.
Yeah.
You can
still
deal
need
with
something, yeah.
through 4 stuff.
Still need
instead
something
of
to do with
BKB.
the storm, with the global silence. If your own pounds on you want to have something to allow you to turn around and fight immediately.
Yeah, that being said, DK with like Blink and BKB is still a very, very strong hero, and you can let Timber and Jog do the scaling element for you. It's not like he has to worry about carrying this game at all.
Yep.
They can definitely work.
Duck with the Battle Fury still in the way, so... Well,
Yeah, even further now.
it's pretty close,
now
not so much, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, they still have a decent farm distribution on their cores, so if you look at their net worth in general, we've got Lifesteal at the top, but then all 3 cores sitting within 2k gold, or almost 1k gold of him. So CDC, despite giving up that, they're still finding something else on them across the map here. The Storm, kind of most important thing, bringing him down and keeping him away from any sort of effective item.
Yeah, Nyx is really, really strong at dealing with these int cores, and Bat Rider as well, so... If they ever get in positions where the Nyx is going to be allowed to get the pickoffs and set the pace of the game, EHOME are in a lot of trouble, because their draft relies on them setting the pace through getting 1 or 2 pickoffs, or pushing lanes into a point where CDEC have to respond to them. Because if CDEC group up, their cores are just going to hit towers and you're going to be in an iffy position where you've got to find really strong initiations, which they can do with global, which kind of takes out the Shadow Demon aspect, but as the game goes later, it's going to become harder and harder for them. They kind of need to use a timing where Nyx just gets maybe Echo Saber, or he could go straight Deathso, and then become strong enough to mock through the cores, and then just use Storm as initiator. Or
No.
Bat.
I've plenty of good delivery methods here, it's just a matter of actually finding the right time to use it, but right now, Nyx Assassin. Be a bit careful about his ultimate this time around as there is a sentry available.
I like how he's positioned as well. It's like most likely to get initiation here because obviously the sentry can't be placed in tower range.
Could get a stun off here and does have the rest of his team smoked up behind him, and actually they do find him first as he walks barely into central range. Just get a little bit of control. Now the last of November here. Global Silence comes through, plus the boat right in midst of all of that. Looks to be a good fight for EHOME.K as 1, 2 going down. Feb also on the run, drag back with the axe. Make that 3. Very little that the rest of them can do. Even Oct on the Shadow Demon in October being tracked down. At the end of it all, Timbersaw, the last man standing. But no one died on the side of EHOME, and well, Century Gaming just walked in front of the tower, he barely in range of the Sentry Ward, and then CDEC forced to go into ult and AoE damage and crowd control and the Global Silence.
Yeah, there was like 3-man boat which carried the fight on top of the global. It's a stage where even though Storm doesn't have the most items, if you give him the run of the fight and people are retreating as opposed to trying to fight, they have enough damage, and that's a huge swing for them because that puts Storm closer to his Bloodstone. It gives them a tower that I feel like they'd only get through split pushing otherwise. Though, unless Timber got a ridiculous amount of charges beforehand, he only just picked it up, so luckily he didn't lose any charges.
Now they want to try and gain some though, as Nyx Assassin and scouting out. Making their way, playing very safely around the tier 2. Still get caught out though if they're not careful. Another Vendetta available in 20 seconds, but
This gem pickup's also like really important. If they can make this work for a few minutes and not lose it instantly, it's gonna allow them to set the pace a lot more. Fortunately, I think they're gonna smoke on top of a ward before they use the gem.
they have it already. Yeah, they have it on Bedrunner now. They did not quite spot that Observer Ward just yet though.
No, it's slightly off where you normally place it. The ward normally gets placed right on top of where the Lifestealer was standing, as opposed to being slightly more up. So this could be really good for CDEC if they either bait the smoke and then pincer them, or they just take a choke point fight.
So Global Silence, wasn't it? Yeah, it was not just lag.
That was an illusion.
Okay. We'll still find the Nyx Assassins, so it's a bit of consolation prize. Exactly what they were
5-man
looking
smoke
for.
plus global for a Nyx isn't exactly what you're looking for, though. It's good they at least got a pick off, because CDEC would have seen the smoke, and it could have been very bad for them if they were fighting into a fresh BKB, and when you know things are coming, you always have the upper hand. But now Lifestealer gets his Echo Saber Death, so he's going to be able to kill anyone he gets on top of.
Speaking of kills, might see something here. BKB pop of Dragonite as they try to axe him back. Lifesteal on top of him, he is chasing him away as the Omnislash comes through in the backline. June also looking for an angle. Trying to focus on the Conker, just taking this annoying bugger out of the fight. But Lifesteal is still doing the damage from the front lines. Juggernaut spinning out of the fight. Very hard to keep track of everything that's going on here, but yeah, there was a Timbersaw going down, they also catch Dragonite. It's not a lot of damage here coming in through on the side of CDC, and there's still more that EHOME.Keen want to find that will be in the shape of the Shadow Demon. Another 3 kills, Timbersaw already respawned thanks to the Bloodstone, but that's down to 8 charges now, and starting to look dire here.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. Because they're not going to be able to split up as much, so they can't really use
Dire's middle tower
the
is
resources
under
on the
attack.
map to fill the gap that they've just made through fights. So they're going to have to probably use for Nyx in some very inventive ways, which is hard against Gem, and get back in that way. Because if
Oh
they
no.
split their cores up, they're just going to get picked off.
November's so dead. He can try and spin TP out, but Lester says, nope, not gonna happen. Bad
I don't
delivering
even
the
blame
package
him
of
for doing
lifestealer.
things like that.
Yeah,
Like, it's getting to the point where it's not over by any means. They still have ways of getting back into the game. I would suggest BKB Blink on the Dragon Knight, but it looks like he's going Silverite instead, which I think is a problem for them. And the Timber needs BKB. Like, he's just getting controlled way too much in the fights. He never gets to do damage. And the Jug not going for like the early game fighting items meant they lost the fights. And he now has an item that doesn't contribute at all because he's not strong enough to sit and right click.
yeah.
He's just at such a disparity in comparison to the Lifestealer. If you put them on equal pegging, then Lifestealer is generally going to win the man fight. But when he's ahead, you just die so quickly. It's insane. Especially when
close.
you're normally controlled when you're getting jumped on, because that's how Lifestealer works with these initiation heroes. Then your support can't save you because Global Silence is in the game and you don't have the gold for things like Yules yet.
Yep.
So they just need to ride this momentum and they'll be really, really strong.
Exactly what they're doing, and they're pretty much using that lasso on the infest and cooldown. And with lifesteal with a huge power spike as it is, with Desolator and Echo Saber and Armlet, it's an easy kill on anyone that they find, and even June. Juicy target here. Gets a Timber Chain off, and potential with the Omni Slash that wasn't a global stance, but now lasso onto North. Then I'll get Tim instead. Feb TPing in to the middle lane. What a dangerous place to be here. Forces out the BKB, now turn into fight because they have to. September is there as well. Nice little stun. Keeping QD controlled up for a little bit longer. Meanwhile in the back, June and Arc trying to finish off the silence. I mean, he already used the global silence a little bit earlier. The rest of his team, plenty of time for them to come in, even save their buddy. Get another couple of kills. A double kill for Stormsword in the end. We're talking about Bloodstones. Well, June's down to 5. But Stormsword, well, up to 16 now. This game over already?
Dire's middle tower has
There
fallen.
is still hope, but yes, in most cases this game is done. They're just not going to be allowed to split up, and they're already losing fights with the current disparity in net worth, so the only way they can change how the fights are happening is if they're the ones initiating, which entirely relies on Nyx currently. Unless the DK does go for a blink, that's probably their best hope of getting one smoke engagement to equalize the game a bit. It's not a massive lead, you know, it's only 5-6k, but it's just, it's never going to get any
Storm
better.
here. They do get a bit of burst through. June making his way through as well, but does get to zip out here. Sounds a couple of spells, and Nyx Assassin dying first. Down on to Nerf. Not sure what he's being stunned by. There's defensive disruption, but the rest of his team unable to re-help out, and I'm just gonna call it. Not doing nearly enough damage to EHOME.Keen. They don't even want to try. Game number 2 ending much quicker than game number 1, and in favor of EHOME.Keen. With a good draft and some good momentum carrying them through to a 25-minute victory.
Yeah, look.